Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of Dead End here in City Skylines. But today guys, we're going to set up the grand plans to our brand new industrial community. And that is us going ahead to build our very own fishing town. Now, we're not going to get the whole thing fully set up today because there's a bunch of infrastructure we got to do because we're kind of pretty much building on a place that doesn't really have any good infrastructure connections, so we're gonna have to kind of create them from the ground up. We're gonna have to do a signature move right now, and that is reclaim a little bit of land from the water. Would you class it as an ocean or a river? I don't quite know. I mean, after the dam at the bottom. But guys, if you do enjoy this, please make sure you smash that like button down below. If you're under it here, make sure you do subscribe so you are notified when the next episode does come out. But we are back anyway. We are back, and last episode we built our very own golf course. Now it shows you how much your boy knows about building golf courses right now, because apparently the 18th hole finishes at the building. I think my 18th hole is like, is this it? Yeah, my 18th hole is the furthest away. So it just goes to show you how much I know about golf courses right now. Absolutely nothing. But we've got a few little things that we need to get sorted out anyway. So these guys are complaining about the trash. I don't know whether it's just because I've caught them on an awkward moment. Whether I think there's a garbage truck on the way, just there driving around right now. And there's one just there as well. So they're on their way. So hopefully it should be picking up all the trash right now, boys. Is that a garbage truck? Is that like a cycling truck? That is it's a biofuel one. My bad. So they're in the area, they're in the region. We'll just kind of see how it goes. But anyway, I want to build a fishing town community. And I kind of want to build it around here. Problem is, I think I have a water source here. That's why the water's so ripply. I want to reclaim a little bit to create like a small little harbour. I know. But I don't know how it's going to go in terms of the water flowing down this way. You might cause some flooding. I don't know too much. But it's all bumpy, it's all different levels, the infrastructure is not the best, so we got to get a lot of things all set up. So, I reckon first things first then, do I get rid of this water source? Do I keep it there? We'll keep it there for now and we'll see what kind of issues it brings us as we progress. Now if I up the brush size, and let's say if I quickly pause the game, okay, it's already kind of flat here, one level almost. But if I pick a point, let's say, so the water level here seems to be 72. So if I go up to about 75, it's not that high. But I'll play around with this first. And I just want to create like a small little harbour in a sense, like this. So if I kind of arched it, what that's allowing us to hopefully do is when the water does flood down, here, it kind of hits that and kind of skews that way. The arch is going to hopefully not get it caught up too much inside of the harbour. So if I kind of bring it down to there. So we're doing like a rough little sketch to begin with. And what I also want to do as well is also kind of bring this to somewhat a similar level. Now, it is going to cause like a huge mountain. So I think I should go a tad bit higher. So if I went, so it's 75 right now. If I go 84, that should be fine. And use is the coastline too big? Hold on. I think the coastline's going to be way too big there, isn't it? So if I keep it down to this level, then we'll kind of work with it ourselves. Because I still want stuff to be able to connect it to the bottom. And we'll just naturally progress up anyway. We could do like I mean, I don't know how if many of you guys are kind of familiar with like seaside towns and stuff in the UK. But you have the odd one or two that is kind of like almost built along the cliffside. So it's quite staggered as you get closer to the coast. That's kind of the inspiration I'm going to kind of take right now. So if I kind of bring it just up to there. And then what I'll do is I'll bring this, let's kind of go down a chunk. And we'll stagger it just here. And then we're going to bring a road all the way up. So we'll have to kind of flatten some of this out as well. But I think I'll build the road before we get going. So I'll put it into play mode then, and it's going to cause a huge wobbler right now, so we'll let the game settle and kind of figure out how the water is going to approach this area. I don't really know how it's going to approach it, but we'll kind of figure it out as time goes on. Right, okay, so looking at the topography right now of this place, you'll notice that it goes up here, then it dips down and climbs back up the hill. based off that here, so if I level this out here, that's 155 at this hump here. The next 155 mark is about here. So what if from there to there was a huge bridge going across, roundabout underneath, and little slip roads that connected to the roundabout? I think that's probably the best way in which we can do it. But to do it is going to cause a few little issues. Because, it's going to kill off the road. So, put back into pause mode again. So many pauses already. We're going to bring this to about there. Right? And what we'll do is we'll now... Actually, we need to elevate or bridge. Okay, we'll go bridge first. And we need to connect these guys up right now. So I need to get the create connection mode. Like this. So to there, to there. And, oh, this is interesting because the natural thing to do would be to bend it like this. Oh, it's going to be quite a little funky roundabout, isn't it? Do you know what? I've got a good idea for this. Let me add that in. So normally you'll have the roundabout pretty much go over central to the bridge go over central to the roundabout. But this one we're going to be kind of slightly squiffed, where the roundabout's a little bit over here. So the slip roads coming down from the other side have to then come in, and these would lead out in a different. Oh, we could create something quite unique here that I've never done before. So back into play mode then, because now the road is technically all back in, up and running, and they wouldn't notice anything different apart from the fact that it is not the correct road. How has that happened? Honestly, how has that happened? There we go, guys. My bad. My bad right there. So we're going to now terraform a little bit of this area. So if I picked the lowest point in here, and just kind of bring this out to a point where we're no longer going anywhere with this. So I kind of like dig it out a bit, make it quite wide, because I'm going to bring in the roundabout, and also the slip roads are going to come down quite dramatic. So if I just kind of keep it wide and open like this, once I got the roundabout in, we'll then sort out the terrain levels. But obviously it's going to kind of bring us all the way down to here. So looking at it right now, oh, is the water source directly on top of this? Do you know what, guys, to be honest with you, I'm going to get rid of this water source. I'm going to get rid of it and let the river take its natural course on this. It could be the fact that it's too low, like the land. Or it could have been overflowing right now because of how the water source is currently placed. But either way, let's get rocking and rolling. Now, is it worth me placing down the pre-made roundabouts? I've had to scroll past them. So foolish. Do you know what? Yeah. We'll place down this one. Now, I'll slightly angle it so the node for that is going in that direction. I like how it kind of automatically gives us trees. Greatly appreciate, but I'll get rid of them. There we go. And we'll quickly upgrade it right now to, obviously, the 2-lane roundabout for the... Okay, the anarchy that road now. Highway style road, so it's like a quicker system. And we'll upgrade you to being that, and then we'll kind of take it pretty much from there. So roundabouts all in then. So this is going to be the interesting part right now, is getting all this connected. So we want them to both kind of bend in. So we'll have this coming down as usual and snapping in that way. And from this side, it comes down there. Do you know what? This is actually going to work really... If I don't connect them to the same thing, what if I brought this down and it kind of connected in there? That went that way, and then these flip around this way. Okay, this is definitely going to be very, very interesting. And I think I might just keep it to the same road. And then do, in a weird way, a trumpet junction. In a very, very weird and awkward manner. So if I went to here and came out by... So what would that be here? 6. Okay, we'll come out by 6. And we'll do a 5 by 5 bend. Okay? And then from here then, we'll do like a very simplistic connection. Or by an 8. Right, if I kept it by an 8 for the sake of it, flip that in, and then create our own little bend on it, that's how we can incorporate this side of the road for its connection down to there. Now, if I got that connected, how this is going to play out, I do not know. So it works like that. We'll obviously make it as wide as possible. So there. So enter that in. And of course, we want to align it. So if I also elevate this here, it's done it again. How in the world are you doing these one-way roads? Is it because I'm selected on it? I don't know. Am I even selected on it? What's going on? What's going on, boys? Now, do you reckon that's too sharp of a turn? Because looking at it right now, it looks ridiculous. Do you know what? I think it might be. Right, get back to there. I think what we'll do is that is a 18 across. So if I... Right, we are snapped straight. We are snapped in a straight line. So if I come out to... So 18 across. So 14, 13 will mean it would be a 5x5 bend, wouldn't it? So I'm now all of a sudden doing this manually. I don't know why. And then do a connection down to there. Now, what I'll do is we'll sort out the elevation change first. So add that in. So it's a gradual incline, or however you want to see it, which works out pretty well. Little bend up. It's very uniform, isn't it? But again, quite unique in that aspect. So that's for this side of the road anyway. Then this side, we're going to have a road, cut it off, and then bending straight into there. So the snap would be in this direction. So if I use a normal road to begin with, and then just say we came out by, let's just stick out by 5, that's fine. Stick out by, is that 5? Why is that construction thing all of a sudden always in the way? By 5 there. And then we'll upgrade these. So that's coming in. That's leading out. And obviously, we'll kind of slightly bend them anyway. So for this, we want to kind of... Can I select both of them and push them up? So if I do it together, then simultaneously they're exactly the same. Right. Okay. So this will be the fun part now, is getting them connected. So if that was to go straight, it would literally snap into there. And that's not an issue. Same for this, to go straight. It's not an issue whatsoever. But I at least want to run semi-parallel with them. Right? And I think that in its own right is the difficult part. So if I went to there, if I brought that slightly out-ish and then slightly bend with it, how would a connection sit so close? So can I incorporate any more of a bend? That's as far as I could pretty much take it, which I'll add it in. It's a huge drop, but that's where we're going to create the elevation change and whatnot. So if I brought this out, please don't go underground, to here, to 0, like that. And then we'll quickly connect it. Now we'll play around with the alignments, but make that as big as a bend as possible. Oh, pressing my Discord buttons now. There we go. Bam. Now it's a little bit funky and windy. So do you know what I'll do actually? Scrap that idea. We'll do the connection from there. I don't know why it needs to be so awkwardly long. And then we'll just go big here. So it happens there. That's perfectly fine to do so. Then all I'd do is kind of cut that in a bit more. But if I sorted out the alignment here, so from there down to there, right, just slightly change it all up. It's a gradual drop down. And I'm going to do the exact same thing now going up. So I think it's just easier to kind of pick a point where you want it. So if I chose, that would be probably a bit too close. What if I chose all the way up to there? Now that's a shout and a half, isn't it? Alright, if I went there, flipped it round. I'm just wondering what happens if I bring it slightly in. There we go. And I get this to now connect. So from here to here, on the most amount of bend I can throw in. Is the better way to do it, isn't it? There we go. Add that in. And then we'll sort out the gradient change from here to here. Add that in. So it's only minimal changes. But off you go. We have a very unusual roundabout. So... yeah, it's interesting. This looks like it's pretty good. No issues with this just yet. So we've got the road connection set up. Obviously, the terrain is not liking what we've now done. But another thing as well is the fact that this is all not... what's the way? It's all floating. Right? So we've got to sort all that out. Now, do I make it stick to the ground? Let's find out. So if I upgrade it to normal style road, which means it will change the elevation of the hill, I think that it's something that we kind of have to implement. So you're going to get all the nice little cliff edges that now appear and whatnot, and we'll kind of pump them out a bit. There we go. Not too bad. Not too bad. We'll take it. We'll take it. It's going to look glorious when we see the trucks and vehicles making their way over here. Now, this bottom bit here is the bottom area. I want the road to come along the top to connect over to this section. So, I've got to do slip roads for that. Don't get me wrong, I've got to add that in. It's not a problem, we'll get there. But if I keep this now to normal to the ground, so by -2, so that there is 5 out. So if I went for another 5 by 5 bend, and then followed this going around. But before I do follow it around, what I'll actually do instead is pick a straightish line there, and then we should be able to kind of perform the standardized connection all the way over. So to there, and then go really big on the bend. To there. So add that in. Now, a lot of it, as you can now see, is obviously different elevation heights. We got a couple of bridges in and whatnot. So if I upgrade these to incorporate the land. Okay, and then we'll align it. So I'm not sure how different it is, but if I do it from here to over here. So minimal changes, but it's needed for that smooth transition all the way down. We're going to bring this down around this way and then slope it back up. So, get out of that mode. So it's all highway road as well, like 2-lane highway, until we kind of do progress down to this area. So we'll do this manually because we can kind of play around with it then. So by 15, and we'll go on the bend now. Down to here, bringing it straight. Some type of 5 by 5, and again. And then it brings us in. Now, that's not perfect, but that's where, again, we then come in with the alignment, right down to here, into that. So it's more gradual. And now we're in. Now we're into the Bay Area of our brand new fishing town. So we do need to throw in stuff in this place, like the warehouses. We need to have the fish factories and all that kind of jazz, which is where kind of now I can sort the terraining side of it all out. So I can push back a little bit more, not too much. I don't want it too close for the sheer drop. Which where I can then, you know, have the idea to play around with this. So it's a bit too close there. I'm going to claim a little bit more land back. Now, it's not going to have a huge population. It's going to be a really, really small population. But it allows me to kind of build a road and have a couple of fish factories down and whatnot. So if I then choose to get set up... Actually, I'll wait for the water to settle for a minute or a second. And we'll just go normal style road. There's nothing fancy it needs to be thrown in. But normal style road. And... Oh, do you know what I can actually do? I could actually... We'll place in one little fishing thing. Like a fishing harbour, for example. Now, if I just place this, for example, here, and then does a fish factory, we also have a fish market, can fit there perfectly. Or do I want it further back? Alright, this is to work out kind of spacing right now. So if I added that in there, fish factory could definitely go there. So we've got like a little double back system. Right, and how far away is this? Is 5. Okay, we got the idea. So 5 down to there. We're going to run parallel right now with a 5-laned road. A 5-space road. So if I drop it here. So the first road is where the harbour is going to be, just on in this section. And that's where we're going to have fishing factories. So then, based on that, if I do a... See if I can snap it in. A 10 there, so go up by 5, across by 10. They'll connect in. And then if I do a... Well, then I want to bring them all together. But again, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. It's like I'm trying to overcomplicate something that doesn't need to be overcomplicated. This, I don't know why I'm choosing to go down this road, because just simple alignments could set me up on this. I'm just being so awkward. I really am. Right, get all this in. Because I think it's going to be perfect. That's all I'm trying to do, isn't it? Boom. Even though it is perfect. But you get what I mean. Alright, sweet, sweet, sweet. So if I ran this down by 30. I ran that down by 30 there. We will have every so often, like, you know, a connection like this. It's not different roads. It's part of a gridded system. If you know what I mean. So if I chose, say, here. Why is that construction text always in the way? There's 10 there for a grid. 10 there for a grid. You know what I mean? Because we have a griddy system. The roads will go up and down and whatnot. And then we want like a generic road to kind of filter all the way through. So if I brought this down to here, so that would be straight there. So the road kind of pretty much changes. Now I think that road going around there should be heavily based off, whatchamacallit, how the harbours, the docks and stuff like that kind of progress its way around. I mean, I could add myself to it, but I don't want to build it just yet. Honestly, I don't want to build it just yet. So next then, let's get the on and off ramps slipped in. So a 6 by a 6. That roundabout's gone funky. Let's bow that back a bit. Slightly bend these bad boys. And flip that one round. I'll take it. So, all we got to do now then is sort this out to make sure that they're going in the correct directions. So, yeah, that's fine. Over here, it's just so the vehicles on the other side of the lane don't turn in. Like, these guys aren't coming, you know, up here to turn that way. It's not what I want them to do. But it should work out all fine for us. It should work out all fine for us. So, not bad then. We've got a reasonable start. A reasonable start for how we can progress this. But my next issue is going to be public transport. So I've got to get this in before I do any fishing industry. We do have this train here stopping there. Do we bring them all the way down? I mean, for exporting cargo, they could just drive the vehicles all the way down here and then ship them off. Might have to ship them on a little bit closer, to be honest with you. They could utilize that train line, but I'm throwing too much into it, and I don't really want to. But in terms of public transport, what types of train stations do I have? Do I have anything small in these new little kind of sections here that I could potentially utilize? We have the elevated train station, which is pretty much what we've got down up there. Now I can implement this on the very end. So if I dropped that there, it is an end, well, it's a train station. Now my little fish factories wouldn't get in the way because it will kind of elevate over them. But it's having the ability to bring it down. But we are going to have people living here again. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm going to, you know, what I need to do as well. It's not going to be a lot of people. Nowhere near the same size as Lost Chances. But after so long, this is going to be switched to a normal style road. Now I have small little roads sticking up as it goes up. A few little communities, people living around here. But again, it's going to be like 200 people probably at max. But they need public transport, that's the thing though. So I could lead this train line all the way through round and lead us all the way down. That wouldn't be a problem. My problem is though, you know that mod that I use to make the roads or create connections? I don't think it works with this, does it? Let me find out. Does it actually work? By Jesus Lord, it works. You have just saved a lot of my bacon. So, I'm going to go from here, run this down to there with the train line. Because we're going to get it connected all the way up and over to there. And then, where is it straight next? It's pretty much straight there. So, the majority of this is going to be done by this little tool now. There. Yeah, to there. And then we are making this super wide. Oh, wow. Okay, so it's not going to go the way I want it to. Do I need to bring it out a little bit further? Oh, I'll bring it to there. Bring that to there. So I've gone a little bit further than normal. Oh, that's on a road. I don't want it to be on the road. Oh, is it based on what you're pre-selected? Maybe that's what it is. Now we're on trains. So. Oh, it's not going to work the way I want it to. I don't know how I did this, to be honest with you. I honestly don't know how I did that. So, let's just roll with it. Let's just do this bit ourselves, because this is a very, very awkward section, isn't it? So if I go 50. Oh, 50. $50 by 50, not quite, but 46 there by 46. Right, I can live with that bend. I can live with that. We've got to sort out the elevation. But I can live with it. So if I now quickly sort out the roads. Did I even mess around with this? Slope mode. So from there, for example, here, enter. And then from here to here. Oh no, I'm doing it wrong. From here to here, enter. So that's all the same elevation height. All right. Oh, damn, wrong button. Smooth this out slightly. Gonna bulk this up. There we go. And you wouldn't know any difference, almost, kind of, a little bit. I like how the road's slightly above. Nice. Okay. All that just for that. That's ridiculous, isn't it? Okay, so we're now going pretty much straight across here. Down to this moment. Bam. Now, just like before, from there to here. Boom. Huge concrete pillars. And then as we kind of come down, it changes. Nice. So that gets to there then. And then we're pretty much wanting to do the same here. So what is that elevation height? Say it's about there. So if I then came all the way, for example, here, which we then got to elevate that all the way up, which is about there, snap that in. So that's running parallel with us there. This should be easy. You would think it would be easy. But come on. This is City Skylines, guys. This is City Skylines. When has anything ever been easy? Right there. Oh, that was actually quite easy. So it runs all the way through then. I've just got to get it down to here so it would turn off with us. And then get down to that little side. Okay, maybe it is kind of easy. I shouldn't have said that too soon. I shouldn't have said that too soon. Right, okay, so now we're going to be slightly pushing away. So I think we'll get to this point here. And then we'll slowly start to push away from this area. Right, so I'm thinking here, bend straight in, and then it's literally down to us how we do the rest of it. So, trying to keep the same elevation almost, bring that to there. Again, I've got to sort out all the height differentials in just a moment. But if I just get the majority of this in. Now, if I do that connection again. There to here. What does it throw up for us? So something like that is the option. Or I can make it slightly bendy, which is the way to go forward, I think. There we go. Now, I could stick that down all the way down to the ground. How would that feel? Right, if I go... Because it's going to change anyway when we do the elevation, the alignment. I won't do it there. So if I picked this and went from there to here. Right, watch this change dramatically. I would say, watch this change dramatically. It did. But it's a train line. I can't do huge drops. Unless I pick this point here, bring you kind of down quite dramatically. So then I could change that elevation a bit more. So if I say from there, and then we bring it down to here, right? Right, hold on. There to there. Right, it's a bit lower. But is that way too low? Let me see what I can do here with this. Oh, it feels high, doesn't it? That road. Does that road feel super high? Or do you reckon it's, you know, part of the feature? Do you know what? I don't think I've aligned that road either. From here to, let's just go here, this junction. So, that comes down as well. That's why it feels mental. Alright, smoothing that back a bit. Right, good stuff. So we're all good down to here. That stays perfect. Then we slightly drop. I don't mind the drop because of the trains. Comes down to here, which we gotta smoothen down a bit. I'm liking the vast kind of side that it swoops down to. You know, we've man-made this route for the train, so it will be elevated. And it almost borderline comes down to the same height. But that's part of the fun. There we go. And then, finally, we can get this train line all connected. So it is a plus 12. It is a plus 12, this train line. I think I'll bring it out here and go plus 16. And then we'll do another and then plus 20. So it's already inclined itself as we've gone on. Now, this might be beautiful or the worst thing I've ever done in my life. And bam. Now, I think naturally that does the elevation change just right for us. So I won't mess around with too much, but look at that. That's going to be really good because when we do get a build underneath, I can kind of build back a bit more. You know, because I can even make the road, for example, say, oh, which side should I do it on? This side. Say come up by 12. And not say it's going to work here, but I could make them do that instead if I carve back a bit more of the land. So it really passes over the train line, if that makes sense. It will feel really industrial down here, even though these are just normal passenger trains. Now, all of a sudden, what I think is kind of cool, you're starting to see a few people already arrive at this train station. Now, it's only really going to be used by intercity train lines because of the fact that no train network is currently set up for here. Do you reckon that's too much by doing a little double? I'll throw it in like that for now anyway. And I'll drop these two here just for the sake of it. This is also going to be utilised by people living over here. They'll probably get off the ferry or here, they'll drive to there. So I might set up a nice little bus route for them. It needs water, I know that. But even there, they'll use it. So it's a very long-winded system. A very, very long-winded system right now. But it does give us the ability to continue over. I'm just going to get these connected. Now, this might be a mistake by doing this. So if I brought that out by 10. And when I say mistake, I mean connecting. Oh, I keep pressing the wrong button. This here connected to that. So if I did it like that, and then connected it. Are you ready for this? Yikes. So the elevation stays true to itself, but it gets to a point and then it kind of dramatically drops down a little bit. So I wonder if I can maybe pick here. No, do you know what? No. From there to there, the true distance. There we go. Only dropped it down by a little bit, but it should be more of a gracious journey down. Did we lose any buildings? I think we lost just that one there, but it will probably regrow to something a bit smaller. Path all stays in, pretty good. And that gives the ability now to fully extend all the way around. So this fishing town then is pretty much good to go. I can slowly start building it up. I don't know why people are coming here. Is this like, apart from being a train station, are they coming over here to like, oh, they could be the workers. Maybe. Maybe. But if I just quickly run some water. And it's probably worthwhile me going all the way to over here. So we'll have the water, and we might as well then extend the train line. So even though it stops here, we'll get this one to stop all the way to over there. And then we'll have to make sure that we add in a stop either side for it. So this is going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting to see what happens. So I fully expect this station here to be used by people that live over here. We're starting to see the vehicles using this junction. There's a couple now driving down. There we go. How does he approach this? I've got to set the roundabout up, haven't I? Boom, 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 boom. There we go. And we'll see how it progresses then. It's quite a long-winded system. We've got a little kind of... What's that called now? There's a correct term for it, isn't there? In the harbour. It's not a jetty. I'm trying to think what it is. But either way, we're pretty much good to go. We're pretty much good to go. There is already a train on the way down, as you can now see. I'm just really excited when we add all the factories and stuff in down below, because it's going to feel like a small little industrial area. We'll have a bunch of houses going slightly up the hill and whatnot. This little fishing town is going to be glorious. One thing I need from you guys, though, is letting me know in the comments section what we could potentially call this. So many passengers, by the way. Right. Where? Oh, they're leaving the city. Okay. Oh, are they driving out the region? Is that what they're doing? Oh, I think some of them. Because I messed up the line. I was stuck on the wrong platform. So there's a lot getting off this one. Yeah, they're getting back onto that one. They were literally stuck in their little ways. But pretty cool though, right? Pretty cool. Let's have a little fast forward then. So off they drive. Vehicles are coming in. I'm impressed. I'll see how this goes before I add in some slip roads like I've just done there. I'm probably going to need them at some point. But we'll see what kind of demands we have. We'll see how it progresses. But guys, until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.